engineering director. That means I build stuff. Me and all the people, well, let's be honest, the people who report to me build a lot of really cool stuff. And you're going to see a lot of it today. Our message, though, is real simple. The message that we're bringing to you at Google is really simple. The web is open for business. And it needs you, the developers, not just us, Google, but a partnership between us to really make the web pop. Now the web, it's hard to pin down an age for the web. We could just try to do this real quick. 1990, that's as good a starting point as any. How many of you all had let's see, an email address in 1990? Okay, I'm seeing very few hands. How about a cell phone, mobile phone, 1990? Think back. Okay, I'm seeing hardly anything. Let me just level set this here. How many of you were born before 1990? Okay, all right. So 1990 is like a pretty good starting point for all of this. Now, in 1990, there wasn't that much to the web. If you had an email address, there weren't many people to email. And chances are they were, 15 feet away from you at another desk. So there wasn't a whole lot to do. But thanks to mostly the development community, the web grew up really quickly. We, the industry, gave developers two tools: a text editor and a markup language. That was it. These were the tools that web developers had in this era of the static web. And still, cool things started to happen. We even had new words during this time. Hyperlink. Hypertext. We laugh now, but these were cool terms. You could put hyper in front of anything, and it was just cool. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough because the developer community pushed it harder than it could take. We wanted more. We wanted the ability to have things more than just clicking on a link. We wanted to click on an image. We wanted to do things that the web wasn't ready to do. We wanted to run scripts. We wanted to have animations. We wanted to have dancing gophers. You remember the dancing gophers? One of the first things to dance on the web. And now, instead of simply sharing documents across computers, we were having interactive content for the first time. And now some really interesting things began to happen. Instead of just sharing, we were opening up the world's information to anybody with a computer. Now, during this time, so let's just say 1995, how many of you all had a mobile phone in 1995? Aha, the customer base is growing, isn't it? How many of you had an email address in 1995? Well, the customer base is getting larger still. But it wasn't enough. You wanted more. And the web developers continued to push the technology. You had new tools. You had some client-side animation. You had better scripting tools. And you used them to create even better web applications and websites. And now we're talking about running businesses on the web. In the late 90s and early 2000s, this is the time when businesses like Amazon and eBay were opening only on the web. No brick and mortar store. They were making money exclusively online. They were pleasing customers exclusively online. And the web, the more modern web as we know it now, began to grow up from this. The tools became more sophisticated. But again, they weren't enough. The software development community continued to push these further and further. Every time we came up with a new set of tools, we, meaning the industry, software developers pushed them to their limits, found new ways to use them, and made greater demands on the infrastructure, on the development environments, and the web grew. Now, let's take 2000. How many of you all had mobile phones in 2000? And email addresses? The customer base just grew again, didn't it? It's an amazing thing about the world. It just keeps getting bigger. Every time you think you've seen a market, the market starts growing, new markets start emerging, and the customer base gets bigger. Now, we went from the enterprise web
to web applications. And during this time, the early to mid 2000s, the line between the desktop and the web began to blur. What people used to do on the confines of their desk, on the confines of their computer, wired to the wall, they were now able to do in the cloud, on the web. Mobile got a lot better during this time too. I saw how many hands went up. Mobile got big. We could take the web with us wherever we go. The web's available in shopping malls, hotel lobbies, forests. Not only are the web users growing, the customer base growing, they're able to access our applications, your applications, anywhere they want. We are now approaching an always-on, consume anywhere, World Wide Web. And the true promise of it is really growing. So let's go one more. Let's say 2010, last year. How many people had an email address in 2010? Okay, it was all of you. How many people had a mobile phone? Keep your hands up. Mobile phone. Now, keep your hand up if it's a smartphone. Now look around you. Everyone, take a look around you. Keep your hands up and look around you. This is a slice of the customer base. Everyone in this room with their hands up is a customer. Everyone in this room is a user. Everyone in this room is someone you want your application in their hands, making them happy. And this is a slice of the world. This is a slice of the planet. These things are growing. The customer base is growing. And as we move into what's next, you've got to see the future with a ton of excitement. The tools are getting much better. And as Google, we're here to talk to you about 4 specific tools. We want to talk to you about Chrome. And we're not going to talk about what's past. We're going to talk about what's next. Today, you are going to see some of the newest, latest, coolest features of one of the most modern, powerful browsers on the planet. And there's a whole track dedicated to Chrome. And for you web developers out there, I think you're going to really get excited about what you see. You're going to see snippets of it in this keynote. I'm going to have my friend Pete LePage come up and give some demos that I think are going to make you think about those web applications that you're writing and how you can bring new technology to them. And make you think again about those customers that you've been pleasing and new ways for you to make them just say, wow, when they see your stuff. Android. Android is becoming a mobile platform that has a worldwide customer base. And we're going to be showing you the newest, latest, coolest things that you can expect as an Android developer. We have an entire track on Android that you guys can go and see, again, the newest, latest, coolest stuff in our mobile platform. There's 2 more things that you're going to be hearing from a lot today. Cloud, App Engine, and other things that you probably don't think of as Google, because we are beginning to release an entire cloud platform. And we have some really exciting announcements to make here. And we're going to be underscoring some of the things that we introduced at Google I/O, and we have a track on cloud and what you can do with it. Because we want you guys to be focused on innovation. We want you to be focused on the problems you're trying to solve and not the infrastructure that it takes to solve them. We're going to try to take away the boring infrastructure pieces and loose your creativity on the applications that you're writing. So cloud's going to be a big focus of this. And then finally, social. My friend Timothy Jordan is going to be joining me on stage to show you some of the new ways, the new integration points we have with Google+, and what you can do to really light up your applications with the widgets we have available for Google+. So this is what we need from you, your applications. Your mobile applications, your web applications, all the ideas you have to wow your customers, to make users take notice of your applications, and to build businesses. That's what we want from you. So challenge us. There's lots of us here, lots of Googlers, lots of developers from around the company in all 4 of these areas who are going to be here to answer your questions and take your demands as well. Throughout the history of the web, you guys have pushed us harder. Every time we think we've developed cool technology, you push it in ways that we just can't predict. That's what's nice about being a platform vendor. We're not responsible for the innovation. We're responsible for making you guys more innovative. And that's what Google Developer Days are about. We're going to show you all the latest stuff, take it and innovate and make people just say, wow, when they see your stuff. The web is open for business. Now, let's have a preview of some of these things. We're going to start with Android. So we have 4 tracks that will underscore the fact that the web is open for business. The first is Android. Who loves the mascot? Seriously. I do. There are 4 billion phones worldwide. 4 billion mobile phones. 4 billion with a B. That's a lot of people with technology in their hand. That's a lot of customers. This is a big market. And the form factors are increasing. We have smartphones in many, many varieties. We have tablets in many varieties. And the numbers of things you can do with these platforms are growing. In fact, there are 150 million Android devices worldwide. 150 million. How many of you would like to have 150 million people using your mobile applications?
Ooh.
It's possible. We have 39 OEMs building these devices. Beautiful devices. We have 231 different carriers who supply plans for customers using these devices. And these devices exist in 123 different countries around this planet. We're working on the whole moon thing. We'll be there. Just give us some time. The daily Android activations are increasing as well. From February 2010, when we had 60,000 activations daily, these are daily activations. People acquiring Android phones, devices, and turning them on. That number increased by a factor of 5 over a short 8 months. 300,000 daily activations, mind you. And it more than doubled again over another 8 months to 550,000. Now, what about apps? People having phones is one thing, but are they using them the way you want them to be used? It's difficult to delight a customer who's not downloading your app. When we first started the Android marketplace, it took 20 months to get to 1 billion app downloads. 1 billion. In the next 5 months, that number doubled to 2 billion. In less than 5 months later, we added another billion. And as of July 2011, 2 months ago, the number stands at 6 billion. 6 billion app downloads from the Android marketplace. There's customers out there. They have the phones and they're using them in the ways that software developers want to see them being used. There's 250,000 applications in the Android marketplace available for download. We hope you have 1 in there, 2, 3. We hope you have 10. In fact, we hope you have one of those, the number, whether it's 250,000, 200,000, 300,000, what we want you guys to do is to develop one of the ones that everyone must have. 250,000 is a nice number, but the top 1,000, the coolest 1,000, to be there, that is a wonderful thing, because we want the apps to be used every single day. We keep pushing it, and we want you to keep pushing it. Honeycomb, Gingerbread, 2 of the latest operating systems that we've pushed. An ice cream sandwich, which was announced at Google I/O and is forthcoming. We are continuing to innovate on the platform. We are continuing to find new ways to allow you guys to do the things that you want to do faster, more secure, better, and more beautiful. All of these things are important. So our innovation on the platform is one thing. We're challenging you to innovate on the application side of this. Use these new features. Use these latest operating systems. We want a partnership from the platform folks and the application development folks that allows us all to make our customers turn on these devices, launch our applications, be blown away. Good isn't the goal here. Brilliant is the goal here. So, the phones are out there. The applications are out there. The users are out there. They're using these phones. How do you get to them? You've got a great idea. You want to get it out there. You want to get it in front of your customers. You want to delight them. You'd like to build businesses off of this. Well, we understand this and we're working on this problem as well. We call this monetization, marketing, and merchandising, and we're looking for new opportunities to supply you all with ways to connect to your customers. So the first is moving the shopping experience from the mobile device to the web. And we've done this now. The Android Marketplace is available from your desktop, from your laptop, from your Chromebook. You can sit in the comfort of your living room. You can sit in your airport. You can sit in your forest. Seattle, Washington has nearly 100% cell coverage in our forest. It's a wonderful thing, especially if you're lost. It's a really wonderful thing. And so this is a new way for people to shop, a new way for people to access. It's a more comfortable way for them to download applications in volume, and then your phone can pick them up when it's turned on. Another thing we're doing is trying to push people to the Android Marketplace so that they have a better shopping experience. So movies, books, other sorts of content are coming to the Android Marketplace as fast as we can get them up there so that there's more reason for people to go and shop and more opportunities for them to find the application that you want them to find, which is yours. And merchandising. We've come up with new ways of allowing you to have screen real estate to interact with your customers in other ways, promotions, etc. There's screen real estate now that you can communicate with your customer and show them. Give another opportunity for you to explain the value proposition. And you'll see all of these in the talks this afternoon and tomorrow morning on Android. Now, once you get these customers to your platform, what are they doing? We're supplying new reporting mechanisms for you to figure out who's using your applications, where they are, what sort of devices that they're on, so you can understand them better and delight them more. If you understand that they're on the honeycomb as opposed to gingerbread, you may be able to use that to your advantage. You understand what customers they are, you can work on marketing in those particular markets. So all the information that we have available, we're doing our best to get it into your hands so that you can better connect to your customers and delight them. Now, shopping has been limited in the past. There have been only a certain number of countries that had access to download these. We've been working on this. So take a snapshot of this graph in your head and look at it in 2011. This has expanded a lot. The customers are out there in more and more places. And there's a particular spot there, as near as to the South Pole as I've ever been. Argentina was also added this year. So give yourselves a round of applause. Welcome to the Android Marketplace, Argentina. Now, you've got customers. You're connecting with them in new and wonderful ways. How do you make money on this? Is that an interesting thing in Argentina, or is it just an American thing? I'm just going to assume it is. We found that the more ways we have of signing people up, getting them to purchase the apps, the more ways that they do it, right? You give them a way to spend their money, and they accept it, and they spend their money. So in the beginning, there were credit cards, and you could buy an application with a credit card. That's the blue line. We made money that way. Then we added direct carrier billing. So this is real data from the US and Asia markets. And you can see in Asia, when we added direct carrier billing, the money that the application writers were making on credit cards continued its climb. And we had additional expenditures for direct carrier billing. And this is happening in all the markets that we're seeing. When you give people ways to spend their money, they spend it. And they enjoy it. It's convenient for them. They see something, they want it, and it's a faster way of them acquiring it. So we've added one more this year, which is in-app billing. So the ability to sell merchandise, online, virtual merchandise within your application. The ability to add features for extra cost. So if you look at this blue line, this is the growth in applications. The green line is the growth in revenue. So the applications are growing, but the revenue is growing faster. The amount of revenue developers are making isn't just because they're developing more applications, it's because there are more ways to monetize your existing applications. So this is a very encouraging curve for people who are interested in delighting customers and building a business based on that. This is what we call in America opportunity. Now, the later the operating system that users have installed on their device also seems to be having an impact on the applications that they have. The later version of the operating system, the newer version of the operating system, we're seeing more downloads of applications per device. And so this is also very encouraging as well. Google tries very hard to get customers on the latest devices. I'll talk about Chrome in a little while. Our goal is, as near 100% on the latest Chrome build as we can, and we work the same way with Android. We want them on the latest devices. It seems to be a nicer experience. This data shows they're enjoying their phones more, they're enjoying interacting with applications more, and we want to see that continue. So Android has an entire track dedicated to nothing but Android. There's speakers from around Google who know this platform better than anybody else on the planet. They're going to be demoing features of the Android operating system. They're going to be talking about what's now and coming up. They're going to be demoing features that in applications and sample applications that I think you're going to look at and say, wow, I want that in my application. My customers are going to be really enjoying these sorts of features. So if you're an Android developer, you've come to the right place. The web is open for business, and Android is becoming a major consumer point for the web. Now let's talk about Chrome. Is there any interest in the Chrome browser in Argentina?
Woo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, I'm going to show you some data that shows you that there is some serious interest in browsers that can run the latest apps. So let's talk about Chrome, which is our entry into this market. So this graph shows modern browsers. By modern browsers, we're talking about Chrome, the latest version of Internet Explorer,